So what we can do for the rest of the stream is I just hop into my Discord and look into some lore that I have posted here that we have not reacted to yet. Yeah, I've got more things related to them. No, everything was already in the videos. Okay. Some niche lore that would just be a separate stream. Let's see. Free for me. Oh, I prepped a lot. I see. Okay. Let's just get a bunch of these. Or do we want to listen to VTuber music? Which I do have to be honest about. We would need to end the YouTube stream and do it fully on Twitch. Because, yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should just do a dedicated stream to that one day, and then I could just my friends are using I think it's like an extension or something, where people can just post links in the chat and it gets automatically added to the queue. And I feel like that would work for music. So that's a lot easier. So I guess I'll do that in a future stream. So now I'm just gonna pick out some lore that I have here. Let's see. Sucks VTuber, Roy Chiato. Milky Bird? No, I think I want to put that in a separate stream. Because I think it's a long lore, so I just want short lore. Kendo Murft? I have no idea who this person is. Let's see. Before Mirai will be a separate stream. ObKatieKat. And Suko? Yeah, I think this will be working. Okay. Display. Oh, that's not what I was looking at. Okay. So let's just click this away. Is the entire lore video just here? Not on YouTube? Let me get this. Oh, let me. Sorry for the scuff chat. Let me put the music on. Let's see. I think it might be the full thing on Twitter. Okay. So just for me to be able to cut the VOD off in the right place. Hi, VOD Frogs. We're currently doing some indie feature lore or just some miscellaneous stuff that won't be needing a dedicated stream, and I just had these saved for a while. So let's just watch a few indie feature lore. It's not really indie. Like the first one is literally an agency VTuber from a new agency, Socks featuring agency from what's it called? Flork of crows, Flork of cows, crows. And this one is made by Merryweather Media. So that's always interesting. Oh, that's the musical. Woo! I don't know how loud it's gonna be, so protect your eyes, ears. Maybe also your eyes. Oh, she's literally in a straitjacket and glitching out. That's not good. Oh, she looks cool. So what's up with her? Oh, she's crazy. She's just proper crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. They put me in a room, a rubber room. She's literally copy pasta.
I'll escape. No matter what.
What was that? Oh no, that's scary. Okay, so who worked on this? Reno, Bennings, AJ Sparks, Olsen, Reina. Yay, Reina. And Meriwether Media. I don't like that at all. That's so creepy. Oh no. Okay, well, yeah. 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 And this one is from Roy Chiato. ASMR RP new design lore. It's 30 minutes long. Oh shit. Is this lore from his rebrand? Okay, so to give you a sort of rundown, Roy used to be called. So quick rundown is that Roy used to be called Roy Zoga. He is a bunny bartender, and then he rebranded to Roy Chiato to be more of a like barista instead of a bartender. And now he is kind of like rebranding again, but just with a new design, not necessarily the rest. I'm not completely sure. And his new design looks really cool, which just fits him a bit better than what he looks like currently. And he made an ASMR RP lore. And it's 30 minutes long. And I don't know what it's gonna be, okay, chat? So please, I don't know. I just know that some people that I'm friends with said it's good, okay? I'm scared because it's RP. ASMR RP even.
Roy was beginning to get very tired of sitting by the window of his cafe.
Fair enough.
Does that sound familiar to you, visitors? Is it a rather familiar story indeed? Many feel that notion of emptiness once in a while. So it is not uncommon to find yourself bored. Much like a certain familiar character resting by a bank in her tail, this man found himself staring off into the streets beyond his window.
The voice acting is really good.
It was not due
What?
to the lack of pictures.
I sometimes forget he's a voice actor.
Conversation in a book, but for a very new reason entirely. For you see, dear visitors, while Roy found a purpose in his cafe, boredom was his constant and consistent customer. Gratefulness for his work still reigned in his heart, yet a life without excitement would tire the mind of any person, regardless of their blessings. This rabbit found himself yearning, eager to find some new spike of interest somewhere outside the glass pane. Would there be some sort of surprise awaiting his attention?
I'm just gonna say that I would be able to fall asleep from this. His voice is very soothing. And it's like so nice to listen to, so I don't have much to say. Is it just gonna be his? It's gonna be more. Okay, it's gonna get dark. Okay, Okay.
Or was the rabbit doomed to wait for an invitation to an unbirthday party in vain?
What's an unbirthday party?
It's getting late. I should probably close up for the night.
Thanks for the coffee, Roy. Always winds up being my favorite way to end the day.
Nick? That's
No
awesome.
problem. Happy to serve, you know?
We should probably get home, though. I'm sure you have a lot to do, Roy.
Good idea.
Wait, is he not the one narrating this? I think he is. He is narrating. That's crazy. Cup of Dusk Voices. I'm gonna subscribe. Holy, okay.
You know?
We should probably get home, though. I'm sure you have a lot to do, Roy.
Good idea. Same time tomorrow, Roy?
Okay, so
Yep.
it's Nick,
Sure.
Shia, Buff,
Same time tomorrow.
and who else? Sorry, my attention span is negative. Oh, so it's Buff, Nick, and Shia. That's cool. That's why it's RP. There are multiple characters.
There's gotta be something I could... Lost, in a state of close defeat, a small shimmer caught the rabbit's eye. Huh? A peculiar glimmer indeed. The sparkle belonged to a small figure, barely noticeable yet, enough to attract Roy's attention. It did not speak, so it perhaps could not say if it was late for anything itself. But its rabbit ears wiggled ever so slightly up and out from its teacup form.
Wait, what does that mean?
Hey! Wait! Curiosity gripped
Bro almost got
Roy
this guy
tightly
down.
and dragged him out of his cafe to follow the little creature. It floated and spun in the air, unnoticed by the world around it, as if it was made to be seen by the rabbit only. Could it have been such? Was this vision a trick of the light?
Oh man, I just think he drank something that he shouldn't have and he's just hallucinating, because that's how I'm feeling currently looking at all those sparklies. I'm such a I'm such a neck pie. It's just so bad.
Or was something magical guiding Roy away from his safe haven?
I mean,
He
possibly.
did not care, for he left his cafe eagerly, pulled by some thread of destiny attached to the mysterious creature. It twisted and turned round corners and down streets vaguely familiar to the rabbit. Roy did his best to keep his eyes on it, maintaining the pursuit.
You got summoned by the Roy mention? How? How? Literally how? Where did you come from? You're alive. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Natalie, who is never unhinged about anyone except for Roy Chiato, which is just impressive. Wow. Okay. Well, hi Natalie. Welcome in. We're just chilling with some Roy ASMR RP, and I'm actually chilling. Like, I'm just listening to this, and I could fall asleep to his voice. Wow.
On and on it went, and on he followed, until at last Roy was guided to a dark alleyway.
Oh god.
Hello? What the heck was that thing? Where did it go? Hello? The rabbit called, yet received no answer. One step
This is a
into the
really
alley forced a rush of
interesting
caution
way of doing
to
lore.
wash over Roy. 2 steps in caused the creature
It's just something to listen
reappear
to.
before him, an adorable smile across its foam-like face.
I have to be careful with his videos. His voice is too smooth. It's insane to me how big of a difference there is between his narrating voice and his speaking voice, to the fact that I had to double check it was even him narrating it. Because I'm not used to his narrating voice. I just know his speaking voice and that he speaks at like 500 words per second. But goddamn.
Oh! There you are. Hello. You're kinda cute. Where did you come from? It did not speak, unable to return a reply to the curious rabbit. Instead, it cascaded through the air in a small little dance around his body, before carving a magical arc through the air before him.
The soundscape is so nice.
Of magic left behind its form, a door slowly formed out of thin air.
Okay, those noises are unsettling. I don't like them.
What the? Is that a door? What? How did? To the eye, it led nowhere except for the rest of the alleyway. It was foolish to imagine a magical door in the middle of the city having any purpose or weight in reality. Then again, the creature had led Roy to it, and the rabbit had followed out of some curiosity of his own. Was this a test of faith? An offering of something whimsical to...
The only thing I can think of is white people shit. Like, I'm sorry, okay. If you're just walking somewhere and some creature from magic is just going somewhere and you decide to follow it, and then it spawns a door that doesn't seem to be rooted in reality, and you even think about entering it, that's how people die in a horror movie. I don't even know if Roy is white, but that's just white people shit. Like, white people shit can... It isn't even bound to race anymore. It's just... Oh... Like, I'd be... That tea must have been really good. Yeah. Or the cappuccino, or whatever he was drinking. Like, I'd be curious. But if that happened to me, like, my nerd ass would be like, let's investigate first. Before even thinking about entering.
Cure his boring...
Let me rewind a little bit.
Out of some curiosity of his own. Was this a test of faith? An offering of something whimsical to cure his boring days? Huh.
The universe truly has its ways.
Only one way to find out.
Oh, God. Roy!
One hand on the knob was enough to prove its existence. One twist of that same knob allowed the door to open, revealing a dark space beyond the archway.
Go back, go back, go back, go back!
Frightening, yet exciting.
Idiot.
Mysterious,
Idiot!
yet comforting. It was something that made Roy feel both at ease and eager to dive in.
Red flags, magical red flags. Don't go in. Bad idea. Bad Roy.
As if his body knew his mind, he stepped through and found himself falling, ever so slowly down a rabbit hole.
He said the thing. He said the thing! It's called Down the Rabbit Hole.
It was gentle, with no cause for alarm in the rabbit's body.
Obviously!
It was as if he knew that his descent was one worthy of traveling down. No one's ever gonna believe me when I get out of...
No, they just think you're high, man. If you even get out.
whatever this is. If I get out of here.
Exactly.
He had nothing to fear, however, for his journey would not take miles of distance to fall. Within moments, Roy's feet effortlessly touched the floor, allowing him to stand with ease on a new surface in the dark. The only thing to capture his attention in the darkness.
Just thinking of standing in an unknown magical room in the dark is giving me goosebumps, and not the good ones.
Dark. The only thing to capture his attention in the darkness was a small table, beaconed by a sourceless light. He approached, curious and cautious, to witness what awaited him. A small teacup, decorated in lavish silvers and golds, sat on the polished wood surface, filled with an enchanting purple and pink liquid.
More spike
Attached to
tea.
the handle
It's
was a
just more
small
spike
towel
tea.
with twine, with the words, "Drink me," etched upon the cardstock.
Oh god.
That's on the nose, isn't it? It is only on the nose if you drink with hopes of shrinking down to almost nothing, my friend. As cautious as he was curious, one flip to the back of the tag revealed a continuing phrase. And all your troubles vanish.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Alice in Wonderland is a white girl. Because I swear, if you fall down a hole in a tree trunk and you come down and you see something that says eat me and drink me and you do, whatever happens next is just based on your own stupidity. Plot twist, it's the same cup of tea. God damn it, Natalie.
All my troubles, huh? As his heart and his mind became one, Roy reached for the saucer and lifted it up, taking the cup by the handle with his right hand. The drink was warm, clearly waiting to be consumed. It did not cool before Roy lifted the cup to his lips and savored the taste of cake and coffee on his tongue. The flavor alone ushered the rabbit to drink every last drop, eyes closed in enjoyment. Without sparing the table a look, Roy returned the teacup and saucer to it. As he opened his eyes, a shadowy figure stood before him. It was both a stranger and a being he somehow knew all too well. Surprising.
Is he just hallucinating himself? Because it feels like he is.
Yet warm. Roy was not paralyzed in fear at its appearance. He found solace in its presence and felt the urge to welcome it with open arms. With a bow, the shadowy figure made for an embrace, and Roy found himself enveloped in a change that would, indeed, cause all of his troubles to vanish.
Oh no.
He would not shrink into almost nothing. He would grow, yet not
What?
beyond the peaks of trees and mountains. Above all else, he would find the answer to his desires, granted with a form worthy of his new destiny. As the shadowy figure vanished from around him, he stood a new man. Familiar.
That's some good
with
tea.
a strange
That's some really good tea, man. That's some... Bro drank tea and got a magical girl transformation.
stranger in his own skin. Wow, that was, what just happened to me? Huh? Oh, where are my clothes? Behind the rabbit, a looking glass appeared to reveal to Roy his new form. Part of him felt complete, yet the urge for appropriate attire struck him as an immediate need, as if the space around him obeyed his desire. A dresser made itself known to him
How
and allowed him
is this just combining Alice in Wonderland and Narnia into a bunny meant VTuber? Down, Natalie. Shh.
access to its comforts and clothes. Thanks! He changed eagerly, finding joy in every thread of fabric and fitting himself
Yeah,
his
he's
heart
just high on some
desired.
shrooms in that tea,
Roy
man.
felt at home in his new wardrobe, as if every part was made just for him. Something about each thread sang to his skin, and he felt, at last, truly complete.
Okay, that looks amazing.
Yeah, you like what you see?
I feel like that line was directly targeted to Natalie.
I do too. Thanks for leading me here. I guess the question is, where do I go now? As if it had the answer, the small creature danced the air once more, and a familiar door appeared from the darkness for the rabbit. The door opened itself just a hair and allowed a new bright light to peek out from the crack. Too eager to enter, the small teacup creature flew within the opening as if it begged Roy to follow in haste.
The way he put emphasis on the word begged kind of made me feel
In
things.
the opening as if it begged Roy to follow in
Jesus.
haste.
That's some delivery. Goddamn, man.
The light seemed to sing a song of change, of adventure. Would it provide a new story for Roy to experience? Perhaps
Maybe.
it could,
Perhaps.
but only if he took that step.
Go to a secondary magical door. Good job, man.
Well, here's hoping for something new. With a breath and a couple of steps, the door welcomed its new master.
Why would you be master over a
This was
door?
no dream
What does that
to
do?
wake from, nor was it an illusion of any kind. The space embraced its new owner, and the cup of dusk would find itself a new haven for his guests. While they need not travel down the rabbit hole, it would always appear if needed,
That's cool.
as it had for Roy in kind.
Okay, that is really good lore. Holy shit. I don't often give applause, but this one deserved it. Also, cringed at my own videos being recommended here. Also, spicy playful ASMR RP with Rikami. Wow. It's just a series of doors leading to more tears that make him buffer and hotter. I swear to God, yeah. It basically is. Okay. Let me like that one. Okay. What's this? Kendo Murft. I don't know how I got this video, but this one is short. Okay, chat, we can do this. 51 seconds. Probably gonna be unhinged as shit, but we can do this, okay? 3, 2, 1. By the way, that's not EllyEN. It's a different VTuber. They're just both using the same model. What am I even looking at? This looked like a trailer for some really epic movie. Okay. What the hell was that? Does he have more lore? It's Spanish. Apparently not. Interesting. So for context, EllyEN uses a model from Booth. And the details, that's like a whole different thing that I'm not gonna touch into. There will be a lot of videos on that, right? But there are a bunch of people that use the same model, just different recoloring. And Kendo is one of them. Okay. I don't know what I just watched, but it was kind of unhinged and I love it. Okay. KatieKat lore. Is there more lore? I just want to make sure that I grab it all if I'm here anyway. Yeah, it's just that. Okay. KatieKat! That was... Okay. That whistle was not intended for anything. I just make noises to stim sometimes. And I love like whistling and humming and stuff. And that was like the thing that came into my head. And was unrelated, okay? It just had the worst timing. I'm just gonna stop talking. I'll just watch ObKatieKat's lore. Dramatic piano ensues.
There are those who see a clear path to their destiny, but I know better.
Oh shit, that's
I
gorgeous.
know that our destiny lives within us. You just have to listen close enough to hear it. Oh, what's going on? Where am I? Oh, wait. Huh? It's you! It can't be. You're right.
It's just
It is
herself.
me. And now, it's my turn.
What the?
I thought I was done with this power. before.
Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm sorry.
What changed?
I'm having chills.
Huh?
I love how subtle the animation is. Oh, hi, Fruit. Deny these unbanned requests. Krolnir, Bitch, Jack the Ripper, Theodore, Smith and Samantha. They're probably regulars or mods. That's funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. We are receiving reports of a were-Neko being sighted on a rampage in London. Some reports are claiming that this were-Neko looks like the VTuber ObKatieKat, aka
I can't control Kat anymore.
Their hype beast.
She keeps taking the wheel, and I don't know what to do.
Katie, you can do this. You've done it before. Now we just need to figure out what changed.
I feel this is never gonna end.
That won't do anything. No one needs to hear it. It won't help you. Quit being a little bitch.
Yeah, no, she just casually goes on like some terrorizing spree as a form of herself that she cannot control, and Centuria's like, just don't be a little bitch. Yeah, that makes sense.
Huh?
Just play. I have a theory.
Okay, that's actually not a bad theory. Because there are people that have like that stutter or have like tics, like either like bodily tics or vocal stims or vocal tics, and music actually helps them to put those tics to rest, or the stuttering to rest. Like there are people that stutter really badly, but when they're singing, they do it flawlessly and you cannot even hear it. Or people that have I forgot what the disorder is called, but like if you keep having tics, like Sweet Anita has, for example, often when they're playing music, whatever part of their brain is doing that just shuts off or something. And it's really cool. So that's actual clever thinking from Fruit, because it might work if it's like a mental thing that she has to keep that side of her in check mentally.
Huh?
Just play. I have a theory.
Oh, the piano's so tense.
Why are you doing this? Don't you know that you're ruining everything? You don't know.
Yeah,
pain.
Tourette's. That's the name.
You're never alone. You don't know what it's like to always be the one hidden away in the dark. I just want to exist. And I'm treated as a monster. You say I'm hurting you, but you're the one hurting me.
God damn.
You have to trust me. We can get through this. I hear you. I feel for what you're saying.
What I find the most impressive thing is that alter ego, like, they have a point. Like, they have the right to exist as well, and there's no reason why they should always be hidden away in the dark. But on the other hand, the moments they do pull through and become free, they're not just like living and existing, they're terrorizing an entire city. It's like, I see what you're saying, but you're wrong.
The only solution is if we do this as a team. I've got your back. And best of all, we'll never be alone again.
Cute.
We're stronger together, right? Do you mean it? Of course. Pinky promise.
Are they merging? That would be cool. Oh shit, they are.
There are those who see a clear path to their destiny. But I know better.
Is this Katie's original song? That's cool.
You just have to listen close enough to hear it. And now, we're listening. And it's our turn.
This piece of art is so cool. What the heck? Whoa. I know they've been making covers together with the three of them and stuff, but it's like, oh, it's good art. That's so good. You know, it's also really cool that her alter ego has a name as well. Oh my god, those are tits. Why am I pausing? I need to get them off my screen. Cringe, that's my own stream. Cringe. That's a good lore video. Holy shit. Oh, Elly. Okay, now we're just gonna keep watching, okay? Did I like this one? No, I did not. Okay. Woo! Next one, Elly. Just gonna speed through these. I don't know.
Well, shit. Here I am, going to prison.
Ooh.
Again.
Okay, hold up. If I want to make this into a clip, I need a different kind of introduction to it. Can I just... Yeah, I've been wanting to watch this one for a while, unless you can see it's been a year. So, Elly, lore video.
Well, shit.
The delinquent. Oh, that's so loud.
Here I am, going to prison.
Just like the Barbie meme. You look good, though, in your mugshot.
I'm Elly, your dirty, rotten, scumbag crime boss.
Oh, she's a crime boss.
You might be wondering how I
stepped up from
here.
delinquent.
Again.
Again.
Well, let me start from the beginning.
Let's go.
I grew up on a farm with my loving parents, a bunch of animals, and my 8 older brothers.
8 brothers?
We were rowdy, to say the least.
God damn.
Getting into trouble all the time, causing chaos wherever we went, and often getting our butts kicked by our parents.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
we were happy nonetheless. Money was scarce, and all my siblings and I had to wake up early to help work on the farm and run our parents' market. School? Well, school was school.
Yeah, mood.
I couldn't stand going, and all I could do was think about getting out of there, to just be free, to be myself. I spent a lot of time napping, doodling, and plotting escape plans.
If you want to get out of school, it's a good idea to just, you know, oh god, to just, you know, keep studying so you don't have to like redo a year or fail your exams. Yeah.
Little did I know that that would come in handy later in life. I had a lot of energy as a kid and didn't know what to do with it. As I got older, I skipped class a lot to go to the skate park or loiter around town with my friends. I've always had sticky fingers, so sometimes I couldn't help taking things that I wanted, even when they weren't mine.
Nice.
I often got in trouble for stealing, smoking the green, and resisting arrest.
I love how you said smoking the green.
Didn't appreciate my art either.
Oh, look at the sad smiley face! It's just...
Listen here, criminal. Stop running. Hell, you get your ass over here. You're going to jail.
See ya. As you can probably tell, school did not work out for me. I dropped out in my final year of high school. My parents told me that if I wasn't going to finish school, I would have to do a lot more at the farm and eventually take over the family market.
Oh no.
No way. Nope, not happening. I wanted to be out in the world.
What does it say here? Because I paused, I cannot read it.
Explore.
Damn it. Well, never mind then.
Smell like horse shit all the time. So I took whatever money I had and I left home to find myself.
Oh my god, this is cute!
A bunch of odd jobs, I traveled to Japan to stay with an old friend.
This is adorable art!
She was an exchange student I met in middle school, and we were good friends. She always told me to come visit her in Osaka one day. So, I saved up all my money, and I moved to Japan. Her family was so kind to me, and did so much for me. But little did I know, her dad was the head of a Yakuza family.
Yeah, that's about checks out.
They took me in like one of their own.
Red Dragon of the West, Unity, Peace and Balance, and Black Dragon of the East, Wealth, Fortune, and Prosperity. Ooh.
I even got my dragon tattoos that are inspired by my Yakuza papa and my stay in Japan.
That's a amazing tattoo.
Living in Japan, traveling around, and trying to stay out of trouble, mostly, I was starting to miss home. One day, I got a call from my best friend Tara.
Oh no.
Bestie, come up to Los Santos with me.
Los Santos? What's in Los Santos?
Cars, good green, money, and me.
That sounds very gay, not gonna lie. I'm in.
So, I got my shit together,
that's
and soon
even
I was saying
better!
goodbye to my second family. I told them I would return one day. I hopped on a plane and arrived in sunny Los Santos to be greeted by my bestie. Trying to find my way in the...
It's so attractive when women like are car mechanics and they're like a little bit dirty from the grease of the car, especially if the tattoos. Yes.
My bestie. Trying to find my way in the big city wasn't easy. Luckily, I was able to find a job in a mechanic shop and got to work on some of my favorite cars. They brought me in, even though I didn't know much about cars, and taught me a lot.
Hell yeah.
I loved getting my hands dirty and enjoyed the smell and sounds of the shop. I built strong friendships at the garage, and they
someone
took me to
pick
the
up that
car
phone,
shows,
goddamn.
races,
Give me secondhand anxiety.
And I ended up getting myself into the underground street racing scene in Los Santos.
Yeah, that about checks out as well.
As you can imagine, illegal street racing almost got me into trouble a few times.
I'm surprised it's almost.
Close calls, but I'm a pretty decent driver now because of it. As always, the normal 9-to-5 life couldn't satisfy me. I started looking for different kinds of excitement and ended up getting into all kinds of trouble with my bestie, Tara. I'll never forget the first time we robbed a store and got away with it. After that, we were hooked. We ended up getting caught a few times, and I always did my time. With practice, I ended up getting better and better. Soon, I was an expert thief, making fat stacks. It just started off small, but our family...
What was that person in the back with the brown hair and the blue eyes? Holy shit, they're attractive as well. Why are all these VTubers so attractive? Help!
Kept growing. We were a bunch of misfits, trying to make a name for ourselves in the underground.
The background music is also fire, by the way. I didn't even comment on that.
And riskier, and I began to make a name for myself. Everyone started calling me boss.
Yo, boss, where we hitting up next?
Got some new info for ya.
Hey, boss. Hey, boss. Want to go to the casino?
Yeah, boss, how's it going?
My crime family grew so much. We have contacts across the country and even internationally.
Hell yeah.
Eventually, I couldn't deny it. I am the boss. Elly, leader of the syndicate. All of our heists and plans led us to the most important moment of our lives. The big one. Pacific Standard Bank in Vinewood.
Just payday.
It took over a year of work and planning to get there. But here we are, finally. Geared up and ready to go with a foolproof plan. We are ready for this. This is gonna be our biggest score yet. Oh my god, I'm so excited to see all that.
Oh, this is where it goes wrong.
What am I gonna do with it?
What you are doing is illegal.
Hey, someone stop her.
Stop
now.
resisting.
Never catch me.
Give it up.
Elly, you're running. You go to jail.
Oh, this is so goofy. I love it.
Remain silent.
So here we are. Right back at the beginning. Oops.
Adorable. I love her.
Here I am. In prison. Again. I definitely
By your own
learned my
fault.
lesson this time. I'm going to serve my time. Be a good girl. And become completely reformed.
Yeah, you're full of
I'm
shit.
never going to commit crimes ever again. No more stealing or blowing shit up or driving really fast. I'll work
Are you
hard
believing what you're
and I'll be a
saying?
good member of society. The life of crime is over for me now.
Uh-huh. What? Okay, maybe she did believe it for a second there.
You didn't think I was serious, did you?
I was wrong.
Let's get into trouble.
This is amazing. Oh man. This is lore I love. Because it just shows the personality of the person behind the feature model so much, right? It's less of a backstory and more of like a proper introduction. I love the narration as well. It was all over the place. It was chaotic. And I kind of want to check her out now. Oh, this is good. This is amazing. I love this. Okay. It's gonna be an ad in a bit, so I'm gonna run it right now on both YouTube and on Twitch. And then we return after, okay? So let me run to the bathroom real quickly. See you in a bit. Hello! Okay, so we're gonna do a few more. Let me go. into my Discord and see which ones I've not touched yet. This is all for Mirai, I believe. Oh, this not. Okay. Let's get a couple more. So we have Suko, Crydiaa. Never heard of them. Vane. Ooh. Oh, he has 2 lore videos. Oh. Maybe I should another time when I can actually like put proper attention to it. Someone else I haven't covered yet. Starstorm. And Miya. Okay, these seem good. These seem really good. Yeah, okay. Display, let's go. Off with the music we go. So this is a short one, this is a short one, this is also a short one, this is also short. Okay. So this is the StarStreamers backstory. Starstorm, the god of stars. Is there more? Like, oh, what the? Oh, what the? Holy shit. Okay, that's a lot of videos. Okay, let's go.
I am Starstorm, god.
Sorry.
I am Starstorm, god of the stars, deity of the constellations.
Oh, he is edgelord.
Twitch streamer. You're probably asking, how did I fall so far from grace? I didn't, you see. Each deity has a role in the universe, like a gear in a clock.
Big 3
each is
purpose
important.
concept miscellaneous.
My role, however,
Oh.
is boring. To arrange the scattered mess of stars in organized beauty. It sounds entertaining, but really, it isn't after 13 billion years of doing it.
Yeah,
It's lonely.
I can see that.
To make matters worse, the societal structure of deities is rigorous and unforgiving. An endless stream of galas, banquets, highly scrutinized social events with every guest as arrogant as the next. A suffocating, hollow opportunity for any god to gloat about their grand accomplishments.
I would
in
go
an endless
crazy.
cycle. To say I was discontent with my existence would be the understatement
He
of
looks
the
like he's
millennia.
about to snap.
That was until I was introduced to Earth, a small planet which harbored incredibly intelligent beings. Their most incredible feats, however, are their utilization of electricity and their creativity. Computers, games, and many other
I
inventions
love
drew me to their
the way
culture,
they
and
represented
I've never looked
creativity.
back. Through their technology, I was introduced to streaming, and joining me on my streams is my desktop buddy, ComCat, and a few other faces. I'm sure you'll be seeing them around. If you like
That's
what you hear,
cool.
come and check me out. Hope to see you soon.
That's kind of cool. Okay, let's see. Because they have so much content. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's the only one. Okay. Let's go for Miya. She's a shark girl, I think. Totally not scuffed Miya Mareena lore video. Oh god. Oh god. That's not in full resolution. This is a cool room.
Oh, hey!
Official novel style, that's cool.
Listen, management told me that I'm supposed to tell you about my past. If you listen well, I might give you some snacks later.
Management? She part of something? If she used to. Huh, okay. Let me replay this. Thought, is she part of a company I'm not aware of? But
Oh, hey! Okay. Listen, management told me that I'm supposed to tell you about my past.
using a visual novel style is actually a really smart way to do a lore video because it feels animated, but it's mostly still images. So you don't need to have animation skills to do this. And like, if you have graphic design skills, that can work as well, because then you can make it extra pretty. But you can just commission like a banner like she has and then insert the text yourself. This is like, people ask me like ways to do VTuber lore videos. This is a very clever way to do it.
If you listen well, I might give you some snacks later. You have no choice actually, so listen up. You know about Mars, right?
Yes.
The big red planet in our solar system.
Looks like a bunch of chocolate.
This is what Mars looked like in the past. Super cute, I
Bah.
know. This is where my family and I came from.
Grabbled
It
in
was a true
shark.
paradise once. But since our planet was dying and running out of water, we had to flee to Earth. The only planet with enough water to survive on.
Fair enough.
So when I was just a tiny baby angel shark, my family and I fled
Angel
on a
shark, that's
spaceship,
cool.
which crashed into the ocean.
Yeah.
Baby me got swept away by the water and I got separated from my family. The problem was that I swam for days and the waters I ended up in were kind of cold.
Ugh.
So I ended up as a nice Miya-sized ice block.
Is she just March 7th? She also ended up in an ice block. I'm not funny. I'm not funny.
Global warming was the reason I got out of my icy prison years ago. I then grew up on modern Earth. In the recent years, I realized that the internet is an amazing place to connect to people. So I decided to start streaming to find my people again. So, do you happen to be an angel shark from Mars?
No, I'm not. Video voice swag. That's amazing. Oh, what the?
I do not remember anything from my home planet.
I thought it ended. What?
But every time I sleep, I can hear them. I can hear the screams.
This turned dark really, really fast. To be announced. Is there more? By the way, I watched Ko's video about VTuber lore, but your comment post on this video it didn't come through. Sorry to hear that. Was a big shot anyway. Lore. Did she have more lore? No. Sad. Okay. Then we do Step Into the Void by Crydiaa. I have no idea who this person is, but she has like 630,000 followers. The only reason I know they exist is because this video has been in my my queue for forever. Banging music. Oh, what? Just portal out? I don't know why am I getting so much anxiety from this. Holy smokes, hello! I have no idea what happened, but that was kind of cool. Like the really simple animation style. Like, it wasn't highly detailed, but it had so much atmosphere. So when she like came in, right, like this, right? Between all of these like no-face puppet characters, it really made an entrance. That's cool. That's really cool. Not gonna lie. What was that? Okay, well, last song for today. Just Fallen Star Suko feature lore.
流れ星は堕天使だ。伝説夜と言われている。全国から追放されている時、それは実際に堕天使たちが輝くと最
This
後の
looks
チャンスだ。
amazing.
天使の役目を果たすことがちっとも簡単ではない。
God damn.
いつも完璧な模範になれないとさ。私が天使として一度もよくできなくても、いつか君にふさわしくなりたいんだ。
Why am I so sad?
私が一体どれほど輝けると見せてあげよう。
That was beautiful. What the Okay, indie VTubers are so talented, and I want to do this more often. Okay, so in future streams, I want to just watch a bunch of indie VTuber lore that you send in, or once I find myself. So go to my Discord and send in everything you want me to react to. And I just want to highlight these VTubers, both people that are like 600,000 followers, like the one we saw earlier, or people that only have a few hundred followers. All of this VTuber lore has just needs equal opportunity to be seen by people, and if I can help with that, amazing. I also just love consuming the stories. So I want to do this more often. So if you enjoyed me reacting to just random indie VTubers and the one straggler agency one at the start, please let me know in the comments down below. Send in the VTuber lore you want me to react to, either in the comments or in my Discord. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, so that was one recording. And you said it, Koei did a video on VTuber lore? Now I'm interested. I'm really interested. Like on his main channel? When did you do that? Koefficient VTuber lore. Let's see. Let's talk about VTuber lore. Ooh, it's 18 minutes long.
Do people actually care about VTuber?
Okay, I want to react to this. I want to react to this. Holy smokes. Hi, buddy. Look at, it's a doggo. It's a doggo. She keeps hearing a dog outside. It's just yapping. It's yapping. Aww. I love my dog. She's so cute. Get a haircut, so she looks so small. Like, look at her. She's just a tiny dog. She's just a tiny dog. Dog. Okay, chat. One more recording and then I'm gonna head off. We're just gonna watch Koefficient's video. It's 18 minutes long, goddamn. Yeah, it would make a good video just for a main channel. Intro, I want to do it right away. The other ones, I'll just make an intro, but like, whatever. I I've been reacting to VTuber lore videos for almost 2 years at this point, and everyone always comes to me with all their questions, like, do you need VTuber lore? Do people care? Is it a make or break for your debut? And honestly, I don't even know the answer to most of those questions because it's not a simple answer. So I always try to go over everything, but I also want to highlight other people's opinions on it because not many people are talking about it. To be fair, there are not many people actively making content about VTubers. So let's go and listen to what Koefficient, a avid VTuber clip reactor, has to say about VTuber lore. Sorry, I just... Also, just for a heads up, he made a Twitter post and I wrote like several paragraphs on the topic and I heard that he did not include my tweet. So I'll leave the link in the description or here it is on the screen. Okay. I think this is fine. This is a fine layout, isn't it? Okay. I need more water. I need more to drink. My throat is getting dry because I've been streaming for a few hours now. 2.5 hours. That's not bad, actually. Okay. Hell the fuck yeah.
Do people actually care about VTuber lore? Let's talk about it. Well, just like with a lot of things, it depends on the person you're talking to. For example, a lot of people fall in love with creating lore on a specific character. A really great response in my Twitter thread that I'm about to show later described it as creating a D&D character. Now,
that is so real though, because your VTuber is an OC that you're using to represent yourself, but not necessarily being yourself. And you're just creating a backstory, you're creating stats, you're creating powers and setting and what they do in any given situation that they will be put into. Like if you make a secondary lore video. So that's actually not a bad comparison. Oh.
Never that I'm about to show later described it as creating a D&D character. Now,
a bit low? Oh, I'm sorry.
Played Dungeons and Dragons. However, I do know that a lot of people go all in.
Sorry about that.
Now, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. Described it as creating a D&D character. Now, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. However, I do know that a lot of people go all in creating their lore
really
and creating their personality and kind of stepping away from reality to be able to live out a fantasy or an alter ego. But alongside creating interesting stories for their fictional characters, there are also people who love consuming it. And of course, they find the lore fascinating because it makes it easier to understand a character and seeing where they come from. And
that's me. That's just me. I just love understanding a backstory of a character. Like, obviously, knowing the concept of the character is really interesting, but where do they come from? What are their motivations? What drives them? And what makes them stand out from the rest of their race, the rest of their kind, or the rest of the planet? And why are they doing what they're doing? And mostly, like, in the context of VTubers, why did they start streaming?
Fascinating because it makes it easier to understand a character and seeing where they come from. And the VTubing space is no exception to this. It's filled with interesting characters, interesting VTubers, and a whole bunch of rich lore. And there's no doubt in my mind that VTubers also love creating lore because it makes it easier to depict their emotions and of course to be able to express their personality in an artistic way. Hololive is probably the best example as to how to use lore to their advantage.
I was pondering whether he was right, and I think, yes, he is right. I thought he was going to say that Hololive is the one that makes the most extravagant lore, because I would argue that Fishoujo, like, for a head count and for the amount of content, was doing a better job at that. But Hololive is, I think, one of the few agencies that actually uses their lore as content and as a part of like something that persists beyond debut. Because with Nishi Sanji, we know their backstory, but mostly we see like the characters and it's just how they look. There's barely any lore involved and it's just memes for the most part. But Hololive does lean into it a lot. And like even though Fishoujo has so much lore, it barely translates to the streams. So I'm gonna say he's right.
The amount of memes, jokes, animations, etc. that their community uses to be
and
able
in the
to
music
make
as well.
all sorts of different fan projects. Like that fan animation of Gura and Detective
Oh, that's
Amelia.
so good. I saw that.
It was really good, and it used the specific VTuber's lore perfectly. Amelia being a detective, Gura being a fish out of water, or a shark out of water, I guess, to tell a pretty cool story. So we know that in the VTuber space, in terms of like the actual VTubers themselves, they like lore. Obviously. And that's
it looks
great.
smarter while holding
However,
the pen.
I want to know from the perspective of the viewers, what do they think? Do they care? Are they invested in it? Do they want to continue seeing it? Or do they just want to find a new streamer that is fun to watch and it looks nice? Well, I was interested and I made a Twitter thread asking people who watch VTubers what their thoughts on this is. Now this...
My tweet didn't make it. I wrote an entire paragraph, an essay, if you will. And apparently I didn't make it, according to my chat, unless they're trolling me, which they love to do.
This Twitter thread is filled with not only viewers, but VTubers themselves, and I'm going to be looking as much of these as I can, but obviously there's a lot of responses. If you guys do want to take a look at the tweet and see all people's responses, I'll link it in the description. However, I'll be looking at the most interesting ones. And if you're interested in my opinion on this topic, I'll be sharing it right after we go through this thread. I have a specific opinion on VTuber lore, and I think that I would like to share it. But first, let's see what other people think, huh? Roy Chiato, my boy. What does he say? Lore is more fun than a necessity. Sometimes it's cool to see what the thought process was for a character or a setting, especially if they drastically change their appearance. But for new VTubers, 100% unnecessary. It's more of a treat for you and your community to enjoy.
He is right. So let me move my camera out of the way because I am apparently blocking stuff if he's gonna show all these tweets. But yeah, if you're gonna drastically change something about your branding, having a lore video to like bridge the gap and as a way to like in kayfabe explain it, that's really good. But yeah, if you're new, you're introducing yourself anyway in your debut, so you don't need a lore video to do that for you. But for people like Roy, who went through like a major branding change and is going to do that again, having some lore to explain what happened in between without having to go through like VODs or old videos to find that, that's a good way to use VTuber lore. Oh god.
That's actually a point that I never really thought of, is the fact that they do use lore to be able to change their appearance. Let's say that a specific VTuber likes to have a certain look, and then about a couple months later, half a year later, they're like, I want to switch it up completely. I want to look completely different. So they think of a lore reason to be able to compensate for that drastic change look. Change look?
Sorry, what did he say?
Think of a lore reason to be able to compensate for that drastic change look. Change look? Look change. Or what am I even talking about, dude? He has health problems. Jesus. Now, obviously...
Okay, sorry. I was distracted by him mispronouncing a word, and I feel that because I make mistakes like that all the time. And yeah, if you look at it, a really easy example is Iron Mouse. Like, she changes her look so often, and like you can still tell it's her. Like, that's just the power of her character design. Like, she doesn't need to be in a certain art style or a certain hairstyle. She as a character is developed enough that it doesn't really matter what model she's in, you can recognize her. For a lot of VTubers, that's not the case. But with Iron Mouse, you see often that she has a new lore video for a new look. Like, for a lore reason, like her angel form or her demon form or her demon queen goddess form, right? Even if she doesn't have a full-blown lore video, she often has some kind of short animation or some animation that plays in the start of soon screen that kind of explains the importance of that form. And not gonna lie, that's yeah. And for other VTubers, where if they change their outfit or something, with them becoming less recognizable or full change in aesthetic or just what their character is, a lore video could bridge that gap, like I said earlier.
See, this is from the perspective of a VTuber, but that is a new perspective that I wasn't really thinking about before, and it makes total sense to me. But the biggest thing to take away from this is that it's obviously just fun more than anything else. It's not a necessity. Nothing's really a necessity other than breathing, eating, and farting. Don't add that. Don't add that. Don't add that. I like lore because it adds a whole layer of fun and creativity to fan art and discussion, whether it's drawing based on their powers or tier lists dedicated to power scaling lol.
Yeah, that's another good point. Because you're already playing a character, what makes a character fun is not just the voice acting or the person behind it, but also the world it exists in. That's why a lot of characters, like from Genshin or video games, Genshin is a video game, goddammit. I'm going to full screen, easier for edit later. That's a really good point, because it's a really good point, considering that a lot of charm from a character, because VTubers are playing a character, is not only from the voice acting or the person behind it, but also like what their position in the world is, what their powers are. That's why like video game characters like Genshin or anime characters are so beloved. Like on their own, they're not that interesting, but in the world they exist in, it gives context. And if you want to make fan content or just have fun with it in your own time, aside from the official content, having that extra context can help get those creative juices rolling. Juices are not rolling, Ezzy. What are you talking about? So let's hear what Cole has to say about that.
I'm going to bring this up again, but absolutely HoloLive is killing it in this department. If you guys have gone to the HoloLive subreddit, it's filled with things like this. Drawings based on their powers and tier lists. Callie being in the underworld depicted as a Grim Reaper, obviously. Fauna being like Mother Nature, obviously. Gura being like the Queen of Atlantis and stuff like that. A lot of fan art comes from this type of stuff, and that makes sense. For artists...
Sorry.
Or scaling lol. I'm going to bring this up again, but absolutely HoloLive is killing it in this department. If you guys have gone to the HoloLive subreddit, it's filled with things like this. Drawings based on their powers
is a HoloLive boy.
Callie
that's why he keeps referencing HoloLive. But goes for any agency, yeah, really.
Fauna being like Mother Nature, obviously. Gura being like the Queen of Atlantis and stuff like that. A lot of fan art comes from this type of stuff, and that makes sense. For artists, that must be a gold mine because they get more inspiration to be able to draw something cool if the VTuber has lore. And don't
you even see it with Minecraft YouTubers. Like, you can draw their Minecraft skin in a more detailed variation, but I see the best fan art come from like SMPs that have some sort of lore, or a character that have some like quirks that could be considered lore. For example, there is this SMP called Last Life, or whatever variation of the life series you want to go for. Honestly, the best Minecraft YouTuber fan art I've seen is related to the lore. I have seen people make entire animatics based on some events that are obviously traumatized, based on some music that they found that is slightly related, and it's sometimes from higher quality than some of these VTubers' lore videos. Just because like there is some crumble of story and people take it and build on that. And honestly, VTuber lore should just be the first brick. Like, you can build entire stories, you can build an entire world, but if you have dedicated creative fans, your lore is just the first brick. They'll build the rest. It's out of your hands. Just don't try it.
Don't even get me started on the power scaling tier list, because there's plenty of those and they're And don't even get me started on the power scaling tier list, because there's plenty of those and they're really funny. Sometimes I see some that are like ultra powerful apex predator tiers, and then you have like Achan, who's able to rein in all these mythic beings, you know? Achan is the manager. but I'm sure you all knew that. So
She
from an
retired- yeah,
artist
she
and
graduated,
from a
sad.
viewer perspective, it is pretty fun to be able to do cool things like this. But I'll be honest with you, Hololive is really the only one that I see this being super prevalent. Of course, other communities and other agencies have this too.
Yeah.
But Hololive is the one that I'm mostly in, and I usually see it most there.
I'm not even part of the Hololive community, and I still agree with him. Like, for other agencies, you do see it happening, but for most part, it's just like character art and not really lore art that you're seeing, and it's mostly just to put focus on some assets. Don't ask further questions about that. But it's just like, going back to something that was said earlier, that Hololive is one of the few agencies that actually utilizes that lore consistently, even after debut. For most people, like, it happens at debut, it sometimes gets mentioned, but it's kind of like left alone after that. But Hololive keeps it, like, even with feature outfits, but feature releases of songs, music videos, or sometimes even merch. It still keeps a prevalent spot, and you can tell that the way they're handling their content regarding their character is very different to other agencies. And you can see that a lot of people that receive a lot of fan art are ones that dive into their lore as well, even in the indie scene. Like, for example, take Shoto, like this whole demon slaying thing. I see so much incredible art for surrounding demons, or even the demon that he French kissed in his lore video. Which I do not see from other indies, even in Fishoujo, because their lore only exists as like a separate entity. So, yeah, that definitely makes sense.
I generally have this too, but Hololive is the one that I'm mostly in, and I usually see it most there. I generally like it. Hot take incoming though.
Oh,
I
God.
feel like when Council debuted, I felt like they chose to lean into the lore a little too much during their first 6 months, and it really put me off of them. They seem to have dropped that, and it's for the better.
I feel like that's not per se the fault of the lifers. I feel Council was one of the first bigger VTuber groups in the EN sphere. So them leaning into their lore at start is probably that they wanted to do something new, or they just didn't know what to do with it. A lot of VTubers from around that time were doing the same. And yeah, it started putting people off because you're watching a content creator and not a anime character streaming, right? So there is a good balance between between too much and not enough. And yeah, they definitely leaned in a bit too much. But they learned and they shook that off, and it is working out for them greatly. Another example is that for a while, Fox Akuma was constantly doing RP after like one of his outfit debuts, where he got like a big demon guy with like ripped clothing, and but a lot of people were like put off by him constantly being in character, even though he was technically always in character. This was like to a degree that wasn't really precedented, especially in Nichi Sanji. And it's a learning curve. Someone had to do it first. Someone had to find out it was not a good idea, and we all learned from it.
6 months, and it really put me off of them. They seem to have dropped that, and it's for the better. This comment is an interesting one because I'll be completely honest, I generally feel like this is more common than people would think. Well, a lot of people really like the lore. Some people can lean the other way. But I think a lot of people are pretty silent on it. They just let the VTuber do their lore thing, and then it's back to your regularly scheduled broadcast of playing Minecraft or something. Lore can be kind of cool for the debut. After the debut, it's usually pointless unless the VTuber puts effort to keep it relevant.
Exactly this. Okay. This is like my biggest pet peeve. Is that often, like, it's not fully relevant to the tweet, but it's still a part of my pet peeve. Some people put a lot of effort into VTuber lore. They use it on debut, and they completely neglect it. And often the case is that the VTuber lore barely reflects who they are as a content creator, as a streamer. So if you watch it, you still don't know anything about them. You just have a wrong impression. And what I also don't understand is when people have their lore video, they play it on their debut, but they don't archive it, they don't post it to YouTube, which I think is a waste, not only because you spend time and money on it, but also, don't you want people to be able to find it later? Or they don't even archive the VOD, right? So even if it was part of the VOD, like you just post the VOD on your VOD channel and it's at the start, people can still watch it. It's not really easily findable, but it's still there. Some people don't even do that, so it's just gone into the ether. There's so many lore videos that I have like watched on my channel, that I watched on Twitch, that never ever were posted on YouTube, not even on a VOD channel, not even on a fan channel. So literally, it's lost media aside from my reaction to it, which I feel like should not happen. But it's their choice. But I just find it a waste.
After the debut, it's usually pointless unless the VTuber puts effort to keep it relevant. This is something that I see that, like I said, to kind of piggyback off of my last point, is more common that you realize. It's usually like a one-time thing, or maybe they bring it up when they re-debut with another lore. Actually, with Roy from the earlier comment, he's like a coffee VTuber that has you know, like a bar and stuff like that.
We watched his lore video earlier in this current stream. It will likely be posted separately from whatever this will be on YouTube. So if you're interested in my reaction to his lore, which is really good, it's ASMR. You're gonna love it if you love smooth voices. Check that out, link in the description, maybe. But yeah, Roy's cool.
So he has like coffee time or something. I've seen some VTubers have like tea times because their VTuber loves tea or something like that.
That's Underhill. He had an entire, like, he was a tea-sipping owl man. And he had a podcast called Virtual Tea House. He made videos on tea. So he had, like, actual tea involved in his lore. And tea as in, like, gossip and drama. Which, not the right words, but the best way to describe it. And now he's a part of a burrowing owl bakery. It's just cute.
That they incorporate their lore into their content. Takahata, that's another one that's a great one because he's a bartender, and his content is all about people coming into the bar.
I love his
having a good
bartending
time.
streams.
Stuff like
it's so
that
chaotic.
is really good, but I feel like those are exceptions, and the majority of them, actually, I shouldn't really say the majority. It's pretty 50-50. After their debut,
it's not
they
50-50.
usually just play games and they enjoy their time on stream.
It's absolutely not 50-50. Like, it might seem like that because among the bigger VTubers, it might be a bit more close to 50-50. But overall, most VTubers, they just have a backstory for the character, never touch on it again, and they are just a regular streamer using a VTuber model. Like, the only existence of their lore is on their debut, and sometimes when they explain something about their outfit. So, it's by far not 50-50. Even from the people, like, from bigger people that I've reacted to, no, absolutely not.
The chat, and they make content and funny things and entertaining things like that. So this is an interesting comment for sure. VTuber lore is not really necessary though. I do love watching VTuber lore myself.
Yeah,
I
me
enjoy it a
too.
lot. So kind of as I was mentioning before, completely a different side to what we saw, just barely. But yeah, this person really likes VTuber lore compared to the other one. Oh boy, we got some more. Personally, I feel like the lore is superfluous. Like, unless the VTuber is going to be continuously enacting upon or expanding that lore, though some sort of on-stream story arc telling, I don't see a point to it. It's cool, sure, but I don't see the point of it.
I agree. Sometimes I watch amazing lore that leaves open-ended, ready for a sequel or any expansion, and then people never do. So the only thing I'm feeling at the end of the day is I feel like I'm conned out of content, or that I was getting my hopes up, which feels unfair because these people still put their like blood, sweat, and tears into making these lore videos. But like, why makes like really extra lore that's very clearly meant to be expanded on and just never touch on it again, or never make a sequel, or like you just do one giant lore video for a side outfit, but then you do bigger updates and never make more lore. Maybe that's just a personal pet peeve. I don't know, but that's just me talking, I guess.
Story arc telling, I don't see a point to it. It's cool, sure, but I don't see the point of it. Now, I don't know if I would go as far to say that it's pointless, because
not pointless,
like I was mentioning
but
before,
still,
it's a great way to be able to introduce to the masses. Also, kind of knowing where they came from is also kind of a nice thing. Like, for example, let's say that they got isekai'd, or you know what? Let's even go a little bit further.
They're safe.
And they're actually
like
an
Iron
angel that wanted to do cool and the angels wouldn't let them. So to be able to do cool she went to hell and she took over hell, became Satan.
Just
and
Iron
now
Mouse
she's just
lore.
here playing video games, and that's why she likes video games and can't really go anywhere, because she's in hell. She rules hell, and that's all she wants to do is just play video games and have fun with people. So I think introducing a specific character is really cool and stuff like that. And I don't think
that's
it's
mostly
superfluous
backstory
in
though.
that case.
I feel like that's different because it's backstory. Like, it's just like putting a character in the context and how they got in that context, versus how some people make entire storylines. Like, it can almost be a manga or an anime, right? There's a difference, I feel. Like, a lot of lore is just introduction. It's just you getting to know that character and how they got where they are. But I think this comment is talking about people that have insane storylines, like maybe 1,000-year war, or my people were murdered by another planet, right? And like something that is not really an introduction, but just a storyline that the character exists in, that's completely separate. I feel like that's what the commenter was more aiming at.
Afterwards is really cool and stuff like that, and I don't think it's superfluous in that case. Afterwards, I can see people just not caring about lore. Introducing somebody, I feel like, is where it really excels.
Yeah.
But I get people not really caring about lore at all. They just want to see a VTuber that's pretty, or that's cool and entertaining.
Yep.
And they just want to see him play video games. I can see that. I'm pretty neutral on them, although it's always cooler when VTuber lore gets updated to include their community and inside jokes.
Yeah,
as well as
love
involving
that.
other people, like how some corpo have done. Big example is how fans interpreted Hollow Myth with insane animations and the Ameverse.
This is my favorite feature of lore, where there's like crossover with other people's lore, or people have cameos in it, or there are like inside jokes and memes in it that make it connected to the content, right? There's just so much lore that can exist in a vacuum, and if it can just not exist, then nothing would change. But some lore actually integrates more. And I feel like if I'm part of a community and that is included in the lore, that makes the lore more special to me and more memorable, and makes me care more. Like, something can be cool, but to be fair, a lot of these VTubers have really cool lore. I just need something personal to actually care beyond just watching and being like, oh, heck yeah, that's amazing.
That's actually a really good point. I really do enjoy it when VTuber lore gets updated to include inside jokes and community jokes. That's probably my favorite version of VTuber lore. Not when some intricate backstory gets involved, but when community-driven jokes get incorporated in. Like, for example, Yago being best girl. That is in a lot of the different Hololive VTubers lore, because Yago is best girl, and
he really is.
That's how it is. The community created that, and a lot of the VTubers have endorsed it. When the lore gets written by their community, I think I enjoy that much more than regular lore building.
I feel like the thing with that is that when you're writing your own lore, especially as a corporate VTuber, you didn't come up with the concept, so you're not as passionate about it. But fans, they like voluntarily decide to stay and engage with it. So they have a different attachment to the storytelling, and often like VTuber friends are so creative and so talented. There might be actual writers among them that can just literally do a better job than you. And you don't see that as often with indie VTubers. It does happen, but not as often, because these people created their own character. They have their own things with it that they care about and find important, or references to themselves. So, yeah, it just depends. Long story short, VTuber fans are creative. And because it's like a massive amount of people coming together and collaborating on it, it gets even more creative and like detailed and everything.
I think I enjoy that much more than regular lore building. But that's just me personally. I don't care if it isn't there, but I love when a VTuber really gets into their own lore and has fun with it.
Exactly.
I think Nerissa is a good example. I haven't really gotten into Nerissa's own lore, but I do know about the Jailbird.
I've only watched her debut lore, so I don't know what else she added on it. But I can see her having fun with it. Solely for the fact that she loves singing, and singing as like, it's just a demon of sound. And singing is like the biggest part of it. Like, yeah, you can have fun with that and just go ham with it.
And of course, about Nerissa being like an incredible singer and stuff, but I'm not like super deep into the lore. I'm one of the people that lean more into the streamer rather than the lore, but I'll get into that later. However, good point. When VTubers get into their lore, they have fun with it, and usually when they have fun with it, they're a lot more fun to watch. Being happy is contagious, you know? I am a fiend for world building. I love lore and hearing about it. It being fun, able to theory craft based on the lore that's been revealed. It's a ton of fun for me.
This is me. This is just me. I started writing out like a timeline for Shoujo Mythos because I was just so obsessed with it. I've not been able to finish it because, well, I don't have the time, Chad. I'm so sorry. I know I promised, but I just don't have the time anymore. But back when I did have the time, just working on lore in theory craft and making timelines and everything was just my favorite way to spend time and engaging with VTubers. Because it was like the combination of so many creative minds that are also talented creative. It just felt good. And I had so much fun with it. So I find that important with VTuber lore as well.
Lore Andy. That is literally the definition of a lore Andy. They love to
I'm a
theory
lore
craft,
Andy.
They like to lore build, and hopefully one day we'll have a VTuber channel or some sort of a VTuber lore channel that kind of ties everything together in a nice video. That's not
It's me. To be fair, I do react mostly to it. I don't make like MapPad videos, but that's me. Go. That's me.
sort of a VTuber lore channel that kind of ties everything together in a nice video. That's not gonna be me, I promise you that. It's fun for a bit, but streams and interactions between fans and the streamer will turn lore upside down anyway, which is the more fun part of it.
Yes! I do like that. Because when you're streaming and like softly engaging with your lore, with your chat, who is most likely going to be unhinged, that's where it involves the most, and I love that.
Oh, I like that. I like that because it's true. Kiara's supposed to be a phoenix, and everyone calls her a chicken. The community gets to dictate the lore at the end of the day. Which in my
for the
opinion
win.
is the most fun part of it. I agree. Subaru being a very cute tomboy that loves baseball, all of a sudden did an ASMR stream, and now she's a duck. And guess what? She's fully embraced the duck. She is the living, breathing, like thing of a duck, you know? Pippa is a pink rabbit. A lot of people know her for being Walmart Pecora or a laughing seagull. Take your pick. Like, it's like one or the other. Bow! She's supposed to be a whale that sings beautifully. Actually, I think she wrote her own lore. I think she made herself a furry, and I think
I don't think she made herself a furry. She just exposed that fact about her. This is a tweet from 2022. She has so much more evidence more recently. Oh my god.
She made herself like pregnant or something. I don't know. But the fact that the community gets to shape the lore, even though you introduce something to them, let's say you give them a piece of putty. It's like, this is my lore. And then they go, a goose. And now that is your lore. I like that comment. Good comment. It's fun for the debut. It's fun if it comes up every now and then, but trying to stick too much to the lore could be stressful, and we don't want that. Being able to create continuity in VTuber lore can be a little weird, and that's why I think lore is kind of like a very secondary, even thirdly, how do you even say that? Like a secondary problem to
tertiary go, but yeah, I understand what he's saying. It kind of comes back to the people that lean into the lore. Sorry. It kind of comes back to the thing where people lean too much into their lore, where it becomes not fun to watch. And then there's also the secondary part where it's just stressful to keep up with it, to keep remembering all the details and keep staying in character. And like, you can do a surface level, but it's exhausting to watch even. Like, I have a friend who is really good at writing her own lore, but I can tell that trying to stay in character, especially during more lore heavy streams, is exhausting. Literally, like, until body says no, right? And like, yeah, lore should be a tertiary thing. Like, you should be entertaining, you should have a good attitude to work that entertaining thing with your audience, and lore should just be an icing on top. Lore is not going to fix things. If you don't have those other things, the lore is not going to matter. It's just a surface level thing that people can care about but won't stay for. Make sure that the rest of the foundation is good before you like think that you have to lean on your lore.
Secondary, even thirdly, how do you even say that? Like a secondary problem to a lot of people's whole brand. Because yeah, it can be pretty stressful to make sure everything kind of lines up perfectly, and
that's like a big reason why I haven't like really written any lore, because it might be my autism, honestly. I just want everything to fit perfectly. Like, I have ideas for several forms, several outfits, several things, and I just don't know how to make them click and like work with each other. And I'm realizing I just need to let it go, and it can just happen over time. I can just improvise. I can just do one thing at a time and then just bullshit my way through any lore changes. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to make enough sense, right?
Because yeah, it can be pretty stressful to make sure everything kind of lines up perfectly, and that's just how it is. I think I'm in the minority, but I think lore is silly and just ignore it. I can understand how people find it fun, especially if they're still in the Chuny days. It can lead to some fun memes though.
I feel like if you're part of the people that find lore so silly that you should just ignore it, that you're not entirely grasping why VTubers have the appeal they do. People just love people that like roleplay, love seeing a character. Like, there's a reason that a majority of the VTuber audience are just weeps. Because now you can have a favorite anime character that talks and is on Twitter and streams and does dumb shit and plays video games. You're not only restricted to them being in an anime. You can have the best of both worlds, like you have with content creators. And like, I can see that some people just like to watch a VTuber as like a regular streamer. But if you're think that lore should just be ignored, you're missing a part of why VTubers are appealing as they are.
Very true. Yeah, a lot of people think this way, to be honest. I don't think you're in the minority at all. It's kind of a fun additive, but I kind of dislike when someone announces a lore video. It kind of ruins the lore if you talk about it like that. If it's lore, interact with it in character or it feels weird. Maybe it's just me, but it bothers me and I won't care about it as much.
That's an interesting take, not gonna lie. I feel like if people start doing that, that they're going to go about the lore as if it's happening in real time, or just doing it through roleplay, that you come into the territory again where people lean too much into their lore. I feel that you need just enough fourth wall breaking to keep people their attention. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like there's just a balance between how much you are in character and how much immersion you're upholding, and where you break it. And I think that announcing a lore video, announcing new lore, and using a lore video as like a secondary medium, even in character, should be fine. Because if you go too hard into it, that might become stressful and not fun to watch. And in some cases, and I've seen it, it can be a little bit cringe even. And that's not an attack, that's just my opinion.
I think getting into the details of how someone portrays their own lore is a little bit, and you're getting too lost into it. People are able to express their own lore in whatever the way they want. And if it doesn't land for you, that's just the way it is. But you're not wrong for thinking this either. But every plug has a socket, and unfortunately your plug does not fit in that socket. I honestly don't care. I just want to see how good of a person they are while they are funny. I personally think this is the majority, but we'll get into that later. I subscribe to the John Carmack theory on lore story. Story in games entertainment is like a story in a porn movie.
I feel what?
It's expected to be there, but it's not that important.
Huh? I see the point they're making, but huh?
Important. Yeah. Okay. That was a comment. To be honest with you, I kind of agree. I don't even know who John Carmack is, but sure. Oh shit, iTunes. iTunes like, guys talk about porn? I guess, yeah, VTuber lore is like a porn movie. It's expected to be there, but it's not that important. Okay. What an analogy. So
I'm gonna keep that in. It's fun to have it there, but it's not that important. I'm so glad my chat is not this unhinged. Because holy shit.
A lot of different opinions. People like it, people don't like it, people don't care. But, you know, let's keep answering this question of do people actually care about VTuber lore? And I think I'm going to bring in or rein in my 2 cents. And I'll be completely honest with you. When I say people don't, or do people care, does not necessarily mean like if they don't care, that doesn't mean that they don't like it. It's just that it's not a thing that they're looking for. So in my personal opinion, I don't think people really care about VTuber lore that much. And
I think he's right, actually. I don't think, in general, people care as much as we think they do. Like, it's fun. People enjoy it. And, like, people are not against it. But if it's not there, I think the majority of people doesn't even realize it's not there. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, actually. It's there for the people who do enjoy it, and people like me who go back and watch videos that are a year old or older even, and jump on a new video when it comes out. But for the average viewer, they just watch a VTuber, and every 6 months or so a new video drops in, and they watch it, they enjoy it, most likely won't retain anything that was in it. Maybe the baseline, like the overall arcing story. But that's it. And I feel like saying that people don't care feels a bit harsh. But it's not like they don't care as in if it is played that they hate it. It's just maybe it's indifferent. I feel like indifferent is like a variation of not caring. You can enjoy something without caring something. You can enjoy something without caring about it.
I think what's to blame for that is the type of content that they're creating as a VTuber, streaming. Whenever they see streamers, they want to see a good personality. They want to see somebody funny or somebody entertaining, somebody new, somebody educational, somebody that can make them feel good, somebody that's rotund in certain areas. And I see a lot of comments saying, oh, I'm in the minority, or, oh,
I just need... Okay, hold up.
somebody educational, somebody that can make them feel good, somebody that's rotund in certain areas. And I see a lot of comments saying, oh, I'm in the minority, or, oh, this is a hot take, or people are not gonna like me for when I say this. When I personally, I feel like they're the majority of people watching VTubers. They're not really looking for an intricate lore type of thing with VTubers. And frankly,
I think that's a good way to phrase it. People are not looking for intricate lore, but they don't mind it being there. As long as it doesn't take away from the main content, aka the streams and the entertainment value and other videos. Yeah.
I'm not either. But it's all lore type of thing with VTubers. And frankly, I'm not either. But it's all part of the content creation game. If you're making an intricate lore or introducing something that requires some form of lore, don't let that stop you from doing it. But as a viewer, they're mostly looking for something entertaining. And lore can be entertaining.
Exactly.
Like for me, I'm mostly looking for somebody that's funny, somebody that makes moments, somebody that makes jokes and memes. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. I think a lot of people mix lore and joke and memes because ultimately that is their lore. You could definitely...
He is correct in that. Lore is not just a story that you wrote. Lore is everything surrounding someone. Like if you go to a VTuber's like wiki page, and it shows all their nicknames. That's part of their lore. Even if it's not in universe or in canon, it's part of their lore. All of their outfits, all stupid jokes, something dumb they said on stream, a confession they made, the way they play certain games. That's just as much part of their lore as like their animated universe or other things or the canon of their character. It is not as black and white as it's sometimes presented.
Narrow this down in memes because ultimately that is their lore. You could definitely narrow this joke in memes because ultimately that is their lore. You could definitely narrow this down to what is lore? Is lore a story? Is lore something that you
now we're getting this philosophical territory.
Made?
What did I start?
Is a story something you create prior to it being made? What a quote. I'm gonna put that right up there with Jaden Smith's Mirrors quote. And I personally think that people care about lore depending on what you define lore as. For example, Bao being impregnated by a wolfman from Elden Ring while she cooks in a kitchen in front of thousands of people.
Huh? I don't even want to know.
Blithe to breed me.
That's lore. Did you like it when
Blithe to breed.
Elden
What
Ring
did you say?
while she cooks in a kitchen in front of thousands of people?
I want Blithe to breed me.
That's lore. Did you like it when Corone streamed for almost 24 hours trying to beat Kirby for the N64? That's lore. And I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but truly, like, think about it. One of my favorite pieces of Zentreia lore is when she evolved into a gecko. And the gecko was able to get into many different outfits, like a maid outfit or a Zentreia outfit. Yes, the gecko was able to make a Zentreia cyborg or an android or a mecha, whatever you want to call it, and operate it from within. And when she decides to come out of the Zentreia mecha, she's there in all her glory. Gecko Zentreia.
Fight me.
That's my favorite piece of Zentreia lore. So I do think people care about
that's
VTuber
funny though.
lore. But if you truly want me to answer without being a cop-out, I don't think people care about traditional lore. You don't need to write an interesting or intricate world building. I think for the most part, people want to feel like they belong in a community and they want to see you make entertaining content. They're watching you to be able to see something that they possibly have never seen before. and that keeps them coming back. Funny moments, entertaining events, interactivity. That's what they truly care about. And that's why you primarily see a lot of VTubers do their debuts, introduce themselves with a little bit of lore, and then never really truly expand upon it beyond that. It's a very minuscule thing in a big project. And ultimately, I think the streaming lore is far more interesting than any lore that anybody could create. And that's not a insult to anybody that likes creating stories, because that's really cool too. And if you like doing that, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Keep doing it.
Make a VTuber world or a VTuber story that is so interesting and so interactive, and you can mix all these different elements at once that a lot of people get sucked into it and be like, all right, what's the next chapter gonna be about? Right now, I don't.
Sorry. Sorry.
A lot of people get sucked into it and be interactive, and you can mix all these different elements at once that a lot of people get sucked into it and be like, all right, what's the next chapter gonna be about? Right now,
I think what he says is the feature lore that I enjoy the most are the ones that like is a collaboration between multiple people, where you see multiple people come together, and what he says is kind of like on the same thing. It's not just a story, it's like you and who you surround yourself with, because they're equally as important. And I think that if we really try, that the VTuber cinematic universe could truly exist, where the stories of so many VTubers could be combined into a single world, a bit like Marvel. And I think that's infinitely more interesting than everyone having like a 1-minute introduction and existing in their own little pocket dimension.
a lot of people get sucked into it and be like, all right, what's the next chapter gonna be about? Right now, I don't think there's anybody like that. And there was a comment that said it before, but a lot of the VTubers don't really lean into lore that much, because over time, when it comes to content creation, it gets really tiring to live up to a specific lore or a character.
To be fair, if you decide to be like a black hole VTuber or some interesting concept that would work in a comic or maybe some like short series, wouldn't necessarily work as a character to RP in, right? So like that's why there are so many restrictions on what kind of character you can play in D&D, because you need to be able to role-playing in it, because it's a role-playing game. Being a VTuber is also a role-playing game. So if you decide to become something that's very far from what you are and who you are, yeah, that's tiring. But if you pick something that's closer to your heart or something you're just passionate about, then it just happens on its own.
That's why a lot of people shape their personas to be very similar to their IRL
like I
personas,
said,
while still having some form of escapism. And also because they might find it fascinating to be a cockroach with ginormous booba. But
yeah,
anyways, that's
exactly.
my take on VTuber lore. And I think I like my take on VTuber lore.
I like your
I'm
take,
gonna stick
Suko.
with it. I like the lore that gets made rather than created. I don't even
That's
know
a
what
good
that means
quote
anymore, but it makes sense to me.
That
Like,
makes
come on,
that's
do you think
so
Korone could create
I love
a
that.
story where she got spooked by soap? Nah, it was just made like that. That's how it is.
Just
Hopefully
happened.
you guys can
Just
leave a
happened.
comment to see what your thoughts are. But let me know what you think of VTuber lore. I need to put on some Aquaphor. My lips are dry. Put that in my next
Mine
book,
as
huh?
well.
My YouTuber lore.
Jesus.
Dry lips McGee.
Dry lips and a dry mouth. Stay hydrated, chat.
Anyways, that's about it. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.
That was a good video. That was actually a good video. With how the video is made, I can understand why my comment was not part of it, because I just wrote a giant paragraph on what makes VTuber lore important, and it wouldn't have fit in his video. Like, it wouldn't... like, you could make an entire video on just my thread, right? But I think that everything he said is completely on point. Like, VTuber lore is cool. There are people that care about it. Most people enjoy it. But you don't need it. And if you lean into it too much, then it can become frustrating, tiring, not fun to watch. And it's just a fine line that's so hard to be on the wrong side of. Like, even in too little, I feel like, even though lore doesn't matter that much, I feel like a baseline of context is kind of what makes VTubers interesting to watch, because their characters or people representing the characters are not like actual people. Of course, they're actual people, and please treat these people as actual human beings, because the way some people can act towards anime characters, they just bar for bar do towards VTubers, and please don't be a weirdo. But I'm saying more in comparison to Flash tubers who just are themselves. They are not playing a character, and I just hate the word Flash tuber, which my friend Avenito decided is a slur. Why do I hang out with these people anymore? Why am I into VTubers? It's just giving me brain rot at this point. Anyway, I will link Ko's video in the description down below, and please do check out his content in general. He reacts to VTuber clips, which is similar to what I do here. It's just clips and not lore. But I'm glad that someone who is very present in the VTuber sphere and makes content about VTubers, like, I'm not meaning clippers that just repost moments of the streams, but like, he makes content about VTubers, which not many VTubers, I'm saying VTubers, he's not a VTuber, not many people do, let alone people are not a VTuber themselves. So to have someone who has like 200,000 followers, Jesus go, that's a lot of people. Just address it is great, because I get these questions all the time, and I feel good that I'm not the only one talking about it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my reaction. Please check out Coefficient, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Okay, that was a good recording. It's late here. Well, it's not late, but it's like way past dinner time, and I am hungry. So I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. Let's see. That's not my music. Well, no music then for the end. Let's see. Who is streaming currently on YouTube that I could rate? On YouTube, no one. No one that I would rate right now. What are we rating on Twitch? I guess I can just send you over to Natalie, because she is just doing a donathon, and she has an entire day on the clock. Oh, poor Natalie. So I'm just gonna send my Twitch audience over to Natalie, and YouTube, I'll post the link in the chat so you can just follow if you want to. Alright, Natalie is not. Yes. And yeah. So yeah. Thank you for being here. This was a really good stream, and we did a lot. We did a lot. And hopefully I can, you know, actually put out these videos soon. I've been slacking on it. I promise I have a good reason. It's not because I want to, okay? I love making this content, but I just needed time off. Check out my other channels, Elly Does Clips, which I'm probably gonna rename in the near future, and Elly Does Spots. Links will all be on my main channel and on my Twitch description and everything, so yay. Thank you for being here. Love you. See you guys in the next stream, which I hope will be soon.